and welcome back to more Animal Crossing New Horizons. Last time we learned how to customize items, and as a result, we now have a blue wooden wardrobe. So instead of, I guess, having separate furniture sets, we have just one type, effectively, that we can customize. So I always like the blue set, so I'm probably going to go through and eventually make like the wooden furniture set and make it blue. But yeah, I don't know how flooring works as a result. But yeah, I always go for the blue theme, so now I can do so. I might do that off recording actually, because this may be time consuming. That's not what I meant to do. I also reloaded the game just in case we have another situation like yesterday and another character shows up after we load in once. So I'm gonna test this out. There's our one poster we got, and here's the other, no wait, we didn't get it, we just ordered it. Actually, really quickly, first of all, you can sidestep items. Again, things can be placed in half increments now. So, as a result, you can sidestep around things. The new room is smaller, kind of like our first room, but obviously we should be able to expand it at some point based on the Photopia room being a little bit bigger, I think. So another weird thing is you don't have, like, records, like in the old games. So for example, our radio just rotates through different KK songs instead of having like separate songs that we have to individually unlock. So I don't know if that'll be a thing later on, but it's still kind of an interesting mechanic for the time being. Got more Nook Miles, storing 50 items, partially obscured talent. Living on a remote island doesn't mean you have to go without life's luxuries. Shop to your heart's content with Nook Shopping and you'll earn Nook Miles. Internet surfer. Well, that's apt. Wait, that's actually... we're really close to that. We'll obviously probably end up getting that off screen. As I go and farm for money, as I have been doing. So it doesn't look like any more special characters are visiting for now. So now we have the incredibly fun and mildly daunting task of taking care of all of this stuff. Good thing I have the expanded inventory, huh? Because we might be here for a while. Otherwise, I put a boot out to remind me to talk about the boot DIY, but I forgot to put it away after discussing that. I think some of these I've already donated. There were a couple because I didn't have a museum to physically check. I wanted to make sure, so I ended up getting like extras of certain items and just stashed them just in case. And here we are, the museum at last. It looks super pretty now. So if we go to the different exhibits, again, it's weird only having 3, considering every other game has 4. But oh well. Yeah, it's super pretty now. And yeah, everything we've already donated is here. So, even the stuff we gave to Nook doesn't go to waste. Yeah, it's really pretty. I kind of feel like they could have still had paintings, but maybe I wonder if there's some like licensing issues potentially to paint the paintings. I don't know if that would actually be a thing. But it does kind of stand out as a bit odd. Wow, this museum is huge. Dang. It's way bigger than I thought it would be. They showed a little bit of it in the direct, obviously. But it's a lot bigger and more imposing actually seeing it up close. Who? Oh, I beg your pardon, I'm a bit of a night owl, don't you know, drowsy in the daytime. But more importantly, if it isn't Jonathan, at long last, the Cobalt Museum is opened, this very day no less. An impressive feat of engineering, craftsmanship, and good old island ingenuity, is it not? Of course it was your very own donations that made it possible, so to that I say thank you. Now allow me to give you a quick overview of our fine institution's floor plan. You'll find there are entrances to the left, to the right, and into the basement. Each one leads to exhibit rooms, wherein the donations collected thus far have been put on display. On this right, I have more good news to report, that is, the donation process has been streamlined. Henceforth, we will accept multiple donations all at once. Furthermore, if you wish to learn more about fossil or fish or bug, I suppose, simply say tell me about this. Hoot, don't hesitate not, I will happily oblige. Now by all means, do please take a gander. A magnificent collection is surely a thing of wonder. I think I read that right. I, again, don't know what I donated, so I want to see what happens if I try to donate all these. Several things I see. Let's take a look, shall we? Splendid! We will gladly take these off your hands. No need to pull them all out, I'll handle the rest from here. Now, I see you're donating multiples of the same item, though we only need one. You may keep the extra. That's handy. So it doesn't, like, kick you out if you try to donate multiples. So, we're not done. Not by far. I could've sworn I hadn't donated these. Oh well. More things to sell, I suppose. But yeah, we have a few things to get through, so this is gonna take a while. Yeah, I was hoping we'd have the Able sisters show up sooner than later. What's up, Jonathan? You got a second? I want to bug you about something, Shiki. So have you introduced yourself to Rodeo yet? Maybe this is weird, but now that he's around, Cobalt is feeling like a whole new place. And that got me wondering, how do we make this place more welcoming for when someone else like Rodeo comes along? I think maybe it's time to give Cobalt a little more personality. Don't get me wrong, I'm all about the vibe we got going now. I just want to amp it up some, and to get that going, I brought us something kind of rad. Do you think you could find a spot for it? I know that you know where a utility pole ought to go, Cheeky. Now get out there, you got this, literally and figuratively. A utility pole? You can't put things in the plaza, okay, that's weird. She's just sweeping the ground. Wow, this is literally like a telephone pole. I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't exactly this. Somehow this makes sense. Shari is often seen as somewhat eclectic, kind of an eclectic character, so it almost fits her just randomly giving me a giant telephone pole and being like, hey, you can find a spot for this, right? That was a mantis on the flower, but I went into my house, and thus it will probably despawn by the time I leave. One thing I find kind of annoying with the storage is with so many items to store, at this point, it feels a little weird not being able to manually, move multiple things at once. Kind of a small nitpick, I admit, but, being able to select multiples would be, rather nice. So yeah, now that we have flowers, we should be able to get, mantises at some point. Also, we didn't do the museum ceremony. Well, since we need to go there anyway, we should probably do the ceremony. I like how Nook has different animations, like drinking, from a soda, or reading a book. Actually, first of all, can't think of any more advice to give you. You've accomplished so much, I'm sure you can find your own ways of having fun and living your best life. Cool. So I guess we've kind of tapped out of the tutorial. Oh, you want to take part in the ceremony? Well, we're celebrating so many different things right now. Truly, this is a wonderful island moment. What ceremony do you want to take part in? Oh wow, we have 2. Splendid. Let's get started. Now then, welcome to our dedication ceremony honoring Cobalt's brand new museum. Thank you. Cobalt truly started out as a deserted island. There simply wasn't much here, but now, it's slowly beginning to develop thanks to the tireless efforts of, well, everyone really. Now I think we need to hear a few words from Blathers, who will be running our new museum. Blathers, the floor is yours. Residents of Cobalt, once again I'm Blathers, your humble museum curator. I am overwhelmed, indeed overjoyed, by the marvelous establishment we are opening here today. Hoot, this could not have been done without you, and your considerable cooperation. I only hope this island's rich ecosystem and treasure trove of species continue to inspire all. It has surely strengthened my own resolve to build a museum brimming with wonder. I say I do hope you will continue your support of the museum's efforts going forward. Thank you for that rousing speech, Blathers. Now let's have a few words from someone else whose contributions made the museum possible. Talking about Jonathan, our resident representative. Anything to add? Good rest. Yes indeed. Thank you for your heartfelt and encouraging sentiments there. Everyone, please get ready to join me in bringing this ceremony to a close. Also, those wishing to take a commemorative photo should get ready to press the snapshot button. With hope for our continued growth and to celebrate Cobalt's beautiful museum, hooray! Thank you all. This concludes our ceremony. Please do take care on your way home. Okay, it starts us in the plaza regardless. I was hoping it would just leave us at the museum, and as a result would be able to easily go and donate all the remaining items we have. So we're gonna assess everything and then donate. There was a little bit of a weird quirk in New Leaf, and I'm wondering if they fixed it. So let us assess the many fossils we've accumulated. Also, at this point on, I'm probably not going to show all of the things I donate. These are rare fossils, each and every one, and have not appeared in our collection. I say you have quite the knack for finding valuable fossils. Now, I do hope you consider donating what you found. The cultural development of Cobalt is a worthy endeavor indeed. In the meantime, I shall return these to you, but think on what I've said. The museum awaits. Is there anything else I can help you with? So, kind of like New Leaf, Marvelous, what would you like to donate? Kind of like New Leaf, it's kind of weird how, it basically makes you go in and donate everything separately when you assess multiple things. At least I think that's how it worked. So yeah, a lot of repeating dialogue at this point. So, kinda skipping through a bit. We didn't really check out the fossil side, and I'm really curious about this. It's pretty empty at the moment. We've got more fish than anything. I say this now, but maybe... Okay, yeah, we do have a fair amount in here. This one looks unfinished. Please donate any missing parts you have to excavate. Thank you for helping our museum grow. So yeah, a lot of these aren't entirely finished yet, sadly. But hey, we have made good progress. This part doesn't look as cool. This actually looks like a level, a mild spoiler, I guess, for Luigi's Mansion. This kind of looks like an area in Luigi's Mansion 3, because there's like a dino museum place, in that game. Luigi's Mansion 3 is really good, and I have been bouncing around the idea of doing a Let's Play at some point, because I actually really enjoyed that a lot. Can't do a Let's Play of 2 though, because it's a 3DS game, sadly. But also I kinda can't ever see myself going back to Luigi's Mansion 2 to begin with. It just didn't grab me as much as the other two. So yeah, again, this is like, the museum is really pretty in this game. So it's kind of like a quality over quantity, because you lose out on the painting side of things, but you gain all the rest of everything. So it kind of evens out. One thing I really have noticed though is that the music in this whole game is a lot more muted than New Leaf. I want to say, Wild World and Seafolk have the most standout soundtrack. I like New Leaf's soundtrack, but it feels like it's intended to be a lot more subtle than Seafolk's, which is a lot more overt, I think. I also saw something online about how we don't have hourly music at this point, but apparently that's something that becomes available later. I'm not sure when we get that. Maybe once we get the Residence Center? That's the only thing I can think of that would be tied to that. Also, in terms of our daily routine, and I've been kind of slacking on this so far, is rocks. So every day your rocks will regenerate materials. So since these are kind of on the rare side, we should probably be keeping an eye out on these. And also we can get bells by doing so. So definitely worth it to do the old bell rock trick whenever possible, to see if we can get any good supplies out of this. Also, bell trees are back, so those gold spots, I assume, you want to plant bells. They might grow into a money tree. I'm not exactly willing to test it at this moment. I kind of want to double check it. Otherwise I would just bury a ton of money that I may not get back, so I kind of want to be on the safest side and look into it a bit more before I actually try it. I don't know if it's because I've been doing so much for videos, and I've been time traveling a lot to get footage of each game in a reasonable amount of time. But I feel like trees are growing really slowly in this game. Like, compared to past games, the trees, like we planted a bunch of stuff like, it was like day 2 or something, and it feels like they're still pretty small, so I don't know if it's just me being impatient, or if it actually is slower. The other option is I planted things later than I thought I did. Overall, it's a quieter day in town. No real big objectives, no visitors as far as I can tell. At least I haven't seen any, and again, resetting the day didn't seem to spawn in any new characters. Again, I was kind of hoping Mabel would show up, because again, having more clothing options is never a bad thing. But oh well. I was also kind of hoping we'd get all 3 moving in today. I get why, because that's kind of a lot to deal with. But yeah, I was kind of hoping we'd get all 3 characters moving in today, instead of just Rodeo and, yeah, just Rodeo. Oh. Well, at least we got to the end of that cycle before it broke, and I do have backup tools, just for this occasion. So we're gonna remap this to the top slot. We might actually be able to do a shorter session today, for once. So yeah, we're gonna call it here for now, and we're gonna see what else we can do on day 4. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for more Animal Crossing New Horizons.